Hi everybody, welcome to Nazo Circus. Today we're having a fun freestyle girly session. I have two of my friends. One is Ayo Sonoiki and the other one is, you guys know her, Duchess Iphie, and we are talking about life after divorce. Say hello, ladies.
Hey, ladies.
It's not only
By the way, we have men listening now. So
Okay.
it's not just
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone.
Duchess, you say hello.
Hi everybody. Please forgive my friends. We started early. We're having a bit of a nice girly day as well. So there's a bit of drink happening as well. So
I'm drinking water.
I'm drinking water, but no, my water has ice in it.
yeah. So just to give you a heads up. So you guys have said, hello ladies. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. So just relax and enjoy it. And you know how we go.
Yes. So today we were just talking about marriage. I think we started talking about marriage first. And from that one, we now moved on to divorces, because I know both of you are sadly divorced. Should I use the word sadly?
Happily divorced. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I wouldn't say sadly divorced, because that kind of like gives the impression that, I don't know, what does that say if you say you're sadly? I'm divorced. Yeah.
So it's not okay.
I mean, at the time,
It's not a happy thing. It's not
it wasn't at the time. I mean, when it happened, I mean, I've been divorced now for over 10 years. So at the time, like a month after I got divorced, I wouldn't have said, it was sad. It was difficult. But I wouldn't use that. Is it adjective? I'd be verb now.
Whatever.
I wouldn't use
everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't use I am divorced, and that's it. So I'm divorced, but I'm thriving.
See?
Yeah. So
The reason why I say happily divorced, and I'm going to be honest, is because I don't know why I say that. The reason I happily divorced is because at this point in time, true, thriving, but I think also because we have quite a good relationship. We co-parent well. We have a situation where we can have conversations and there's no animosity. So that's why I say I'm happily divorced now. Of course, at the time when it was happening, it wasn't the greatest. Actually, probably more the separation, because I did the 2-year separation first before then the divorce. So by the time divorce paper came through,
It was
I'm
already.
not gonna lie, I went to for two.
Did you go to celebrate? Was it celebration that you were doing, or just like, okay,
Relief.
it's now
Let's just leave
formal.
it like that. I don't want to create a
different show.
So just take it as you will. Just take it as you will.
Okay, so you guys, what would you say was the most difficult, or has been the most difficult thing about being divorced? Is it the children? Because I know you both have children. Was it?
So, I think I don't even know if it was I would even say it was difficult, because I suppose with the divorce, I know it's a bit different now because you can get divorces really quickly. I think within like weeks or whatever. But mine, I'll just explain. So I actually been divorced twice, because I was married to my ex-husband twice.
Oh wow!
You didn't know?
No, I didn't
When she
know.
told me, I almost fell off the chair.
I didn't know.
Yeah. So what happened was we got married, we got divorced, we remarried, and then we got divorced.
Oh wow!
I know, right? So, what was your question? What was most difficult?
Ayo, this is gonna be a long session.
It's been a long evening already. It's been a long day.
I said, what's been the most difficult?
Yeah, so I think
or challenging.
So I think so I was saying that because the whole process itself takes quite a while, and so initially I was going to think, maybe because of the kids and whatever, but because we had some time to actually prepare them, to do that transition. But I think in the early stages, maybe soon after I got divorced for the second time, so when it was like done, you do have those quiet moments when it's just you with your thoughts, and you look back and you think, what if, or what could I have done, or whatever. so there are for me, I don't know about maybe if you might have a different experience, but I did have those moments. I don't have them now, but so that was difficult. But
navigating your
yeah, but because the decision was mine. I mean, the final decision was mine. It was something that I wanted. As difficult as it was, then I was at peace with it. So it was, you quickly bring yourself out of it. I mean, you're human, so you're going to think about stuff. So I think then, so all of my sort of difficult thoughts about divorce were more confined to when it first happened. But now that, it's like I said, 10 years down the line, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not.
Duchess, did you have any difficult challenges?
I think when it first happened, it was a case of I felt bad for my children because they were quite young, and my son, when we separated, because I'll talk from separation, because the divorce was literally, for me, that was now just a piece of paper. So the separation, I think, because my son was just about to go into secondary school, and I felt so guilty because I couldn't be there for him the way parents are usually there for their children in secondary school, taking him to school on the first day. So this is my son going from big school to now being the small one, not the big school, and I couldn't take him. So that bit till today, even though he's almost going to be 21, breaks my heart. So that then also, if I have to be honest, as Ayo said, is that reflection of what could have been different, what could have done differently. But I was fortunate enough, I chose to go for counseling and coaching because I was like, there's too much that's happened, and I just wanted to make sure that I healed myself, because I was aware that I needed to do my own healing. Because regardless of anything, even though I am not a failure for being divorced, I still failed at the marriage. And so I wanted to ensure that I learned from what had happened. So even going into another relationship, that I became more aware of who I am, how to be more authentic in my relationship. Because let me not lie, you see the babe that he married in Nigeria, it's not the babe he met in London. I'm going to be honest. Because I came back to London and I was back to my home. Where I was, so some things that I was doing in Nigeria was not the same thing I was doing in London. And I can imagine that there's sometimes when he woke up like, who is this?
So did you guys leave? So in Nigeria, your relationship started in Nigeria?
Yeah, met him in Nigeria.
And how long were you together in Nigeria before you moved? No, I'm just saying, because you said the babe he met in Nigeria is not. Was it a long time? That's what I'm trying to. Okay, so it wasn't a long time.
It wasn't that long.
Okay, okay. So why did you just? So as soon as you enter plane, BA flight back, you switch back to your London self?
Yeah. And then, but by the time he came,
you had already settled back into.
I found my groove as being a mom.
Yes.
And everything. So by the time he came, even though I wanted to, as much as I was accommodating to the fact that I know he had just come into the country.
Yeah.
And
You were already
set. Yeah. London babe. So so there were some things that obviously would have been different to who I was as a single girl in Nigeria, in a place that I don't know, where I was very dependent on him.
And now you're back here where you're
back home where I know what's going on. So I know. So that kind of dynamic must have happened from his perspective that I've seen now when I've reflected to say there's some things, and it's not even just that, it's even the expectations of how Christian am I, how holy am I, how reflective of a Christian wife am I, so all those challenges. So it's kind of like, oh, could I have done things differently? But at the same time, I then remember that it's better for my children to be in a home where there's peace. And the parents can get along from outside the home than for them to be in a house where their parents are fighting.
That's very important. And I think a lot of from a family lawyer perspective, a lot of the parents don't actually clock that. Or let me even say African parents. I don't know. I don't want to talk about Oyibo because Oyibo is different. I think a lot of our people, we're so fixated on keeping the family home together, which is, yes, it's good. We want that family. But if it's not working, rather than kids are hearing all the arguments and all the, even if they're not hearing, there's the home, when people are not getting on, they're not getting on.
Exactly.
So it's better.
And the thing is that that's why I know that I actively fought for him to be an active dad from day one. Well, he wasn't initially, because obviously he too was upset. I get that. But once we kind of got a rhythm, he's never failed in being there for the children, even being there for me, as the fact that if I'm having issues with any of the children, I say, I'm going to call your dad. He will pick up the phone. He will step up. He will do what he needs to do. So for me, I see that he's doing more Now, than if we were still married. Because now there's no aggro. We can gist on the phone, we can laugh.
Yes.
Because there's no responsibility.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's no fight or
You
anything.
can call me and say, "Oh, I need you to do this for our son. Will you do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." Or I'll say, "I need you to do that." So there's now a relationship that is based on mutual respect as parents. But the thing about the another thing, let me not forget. Our people are judging you because you're divorced.
First of all, they will judge you because you're not married. So start with that one. Let's start with let's go back.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, you're not married, so they'll first of all judge you. Then when you now manage to cross that hurdle and now finally marry, then they will judge you if the kids don't come quickly.
Yeah.
Then the kids now come. Then if you now, God forbid, divorce, then the final nailing you down will happen.
So I think that I don't know about, but I think that also was a challenge as well, because people look at you with side eye. Those that are still married, that wonder whether if you're talking too much to somebody, they will put in 5 plus 5 and get it to 20. Your married friends who are female, so they love it. So you end up realizing that you just keep yourself to yourself because you don't want anybody to just use you to do excuse or do with. So you
I'll rub you the wrong way.
Please, everybody just answer their father's name and just focus on your children and just do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, divorce it has its ups and downs. And as I said, now I don't think of those kind of sad moments at all.
Ayo, did you feel judged? Did you notice it?
I didn't. I'm sure there were lots of people who were judging me.
Too busy maybe dealing with your...
I didn't even, because I think I had made a lot of decisions about, because the second time round, when the second divorce, like I said, we were married, went through it twice, it was my decision. And I was at peace with it. So I knew that I had done everything that I could have done to keep my marriage together, and it wasn't working. So I could have stayed for the optics or just because of other people, but I didn't want to do that. And I knew that I was miserable. And, following on from what Duchess said about the children and how important it is for them to be brought up in an atmosphere, or how damaging it can even be to bring children up in an atmosphere that is so negative and bitter and whatever. And I didn't want that. So, so because I was... there might have been people that were judging me. Maybe I didn't hear, I didn't really care because I was at peace with my decision. Nobody had the guts to come up and
tell me
anything different. I mean, people will come up and say, but really, are you sure? I'm like, yes.
Is there not that can be done?
That one. Are you sure? Have you tried?
As if you that you're in it.
I have not very quickly. Or that they asking me would have been the okay.
You're right.
You're right. So I haven't actually. Yeah. So and it just makes you even aware. And I think because, like I said, it was my decision, and this is what I wanted. It just makes you a lot more. It makes you a lot more. What's the word? So alcohol has made me forget.
Just use simple English.
Drinking water.
Don't use any big.
Maybe somebody has slipped something into it. It makes you more. When you are feeling for somebody else, what's that word?
Empathetic.
Shebi,
is it empathetic?
Yes.
Feel for somebody.
For other people who are going through stuff. Whereas maybe before, I'd have been one of the ones that said, have you tried? Or have you? Because it's not, people don't take those, I didn't take the decision lightly. And so I would kind of look at everybody through that lens. So I'm assuming that you haven't taken, if people have gone down that route.
Yeah, they too have.
They have done that. Yeah, they've done all the stuff that they need to do. But it's, although I do say to people, because this is the other thing, right? So as Duchess said, and I said, I mean, maybe when it first happened, it was like, oh gosh, really heavy. But now it's like thriving kind of stuff. Does not mean then that you now look at me and say, Iphie Ayo is thriving now, so let me to go and... Because it's not an easy route to take, and there's a lot of work. So like Duchess said about what she needed to do.
And things.
Yeah, to actually, to get to a point. So it's not an easy route. However, it does not have to mean the end of you. You can get back to being you.
Life.
Yeah, you can get back to being you. And I this is nothing against my ex-husband or anything like that, but I don't think, and I said this quite openly before that I don't think I could do all the stuff I'm doing now if I was still married to him in particular, just because of the personalities and the kind of people. So nothing bad about him,
just
but it's just
dynamics
the person I am now. I'm able to do what I'm doing, and I don't think I would have been able to do that if I was still in that same marriage.
No, and I hear that, and I think because people, you know, I mean, social media being the weird place that it is, it's it's a melting pot of different opinions, and you see people that kind of make it seem as though, one, you're going to regret it. They are in their house regretting it because they have not married again. I'm like, not regretting it, no, because you don't know the journey that I went through in order to make that decision, and until you know that. You can't judge me for it. And you don't even have the right to judge me. And also, does not mean I did not keep my home. The marriage, no, it takes two people for a marriage to fail. It doesn't take one person.
Of course.
It takes two. And the fact is, I still had an experience about marriage. I'm still qualified to talk about marriage because I have done that.
You've lived it, yes.
I've lived it. And it's sure I even know the pitfalls to avoid, being honest. And if I choose that I marry again and it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Nobody has no matter how much we want to, and it's going to sound weird because of what I do, but the thing about it is that there is no magic formula if the two of you are not able to live together. It doesn't matter the willingness, because you have to be able to. If we are not lesbians, but if me and I are deciding to marry, if no matter how much I love her and she loves me, if we're not able to live together, communicate, and do all the things that makes a relationship thrive, you can't
stay together.
You can't stay together. It's just not going to happen with all the will in the world. But people want to judge you for it, and I'm like, everybody get off your freaking high horse
and stop. Yeah, people need to stop.
Yeah, you need to get off your freaking high horse, because I want to be in another relationship, in a loving relationship, and experience a longer term relationship than what I had with my marriage, because I didn't enter it. Please, did you enter it for it not to be forever?
Of course not.
So you definitely did it because you did it twice.
She tried forever, two times.
Two times. She was like, and that's a beautiful story to know, because it does show you that even when you even say, okay, I'm going back again, it might still not work.
Yeah.
And just
that's actually true.
And just because you are sitting in your house telling us on social media that I've been married for 50 years, don't mean that you're happy.
Yeah, true.
Doesn't mean that some people are living to their full potential, don't get me wrong. But doesn't mean that everybody is. Some people are operating at half potential. And it's not even just the women, even the men too. They're not operating at the place that they need to, for whatever the case may be. So let's not be judging people, I beg. We are trying to live the best life that we can on this earth that they have put us on for a limited period of time.
Who put you on the earth? So who put you?
Can you not see how amazing I am? The one that created you,
that molded you, the fine woman that you are,
took their time to mold me. But so I think people need to kind of understand that there is a cycle, and as I said, is that it's not a decision that's taken lightly. I don't want you to sit in judgment of that, because most people don't take that decision lightly.
I think this brings me to, and I always think about this, the children. So me being a single parent, I was even saying I was going to talk to my daughter about how it is or how it feels to be raised in a single parent household, because I don't know, because I didn't live that life. So I just wonder, and I like the fact that Duchess, you didn't touch upon this, but I'm not going to even ask. But Duchess, you said that you and your ex, you co-parent properly. And I just, was there a period where your children struggled? Or I think for me, I think the point I'm trying to drive to is that it's important for the parents to co-parent properly, so that the children are already going through the fact that their parents are not together. And then if you're not co-parenting properly, that just makes it worse. Because I know there's a stigma attached to, you're from a divorce, and I don't know why there's a stigma, but there is a stigma. There's some things we can't help. It's just like being raised by a single parent. There's that stigma. So for me, I think what's more important, I don't even care about the parents, to be honest. They're adults, they can figure their lives out, is the effect of the divorce on the children. I think that's what I'm trying to drive at, the effect on the children.
For me, if I'm being truthful, I've never seen myself as a single parent, because there's two of us. Children did struggle in the beginning to go to see their dad. They didn't want to, but I made them. Not only did and two reasons. one was a selfish reason. I needed the space to
Respite. You need respite to breathe.
even to understand my new status, my new situation. Just I needed that space. Secondly, was I also needed him to remember that he's a dadu. Like just because he's not
No one's
the
gonna
wife,
be-
he's still a daddy. And he also needs to understand what it means to be a dad to the children and be actively in their lives. So there was no option for him not to pick the kids up. There was no option for the children not to go, even if they were miserable. So my children, they can pack a bag in 2 seconds because they're experts. And that's why I said like kudos to him, because he picked up the children every other weekend.
I think kudos to both of you for being mature enough to navigate through it.
But I the reason why I want to call him out is because dads get a bad rep sometimes, and I want to call him out and say, you stepped up. And people say, yeah, but he's a dad. I'm like, yes, he's the dad. I agree. But some dads don't. And this is someone that did, and I appreciate that he did. And he's reaping the benefits now because
They're
he
now
has an
older.
amazing relationship with his son, which I didn't think would happen. So even my ex would call me up and say, oh yes, I spoke to our son, and we have a relationship. He told me about this that you probably don't even know about. Allow him to think that because
But that's just say yes. I like the fact that he's he stepped up from the day one, but I also like the fact that you allowed him because so many women, I know they'll come for me, but yes, I will say that so many women are so angry.
Can I tell you why? I'll tell you why. You might get upset about whatever. When we were getting out, or when we were having conversations, because I always knew he wanted children. One of the things that I said to him was that no matter what happened, you would always be in their life. And the reason why I said is because I lost my dad when I was 13, and he lost his dad while he was still in his mom's womb.
Oh wow.
So for me, my children knowing their dad was more important than anything
You even being
that I was feeling, because I felt jealous for those who had their dads, and I was a daddy's girl. I looked like my dad, and he had gone when I was 13. So for me, no amount of ego in my body was going to make me deprive my children
Of that relationship.
as long as he was willing to step up to it. And I knew that because he was always it was like probably one of the first things he told me about when we met. So so I knew that he was not going to joke with that. So I don't even worry if he sees them. I mean, he takes them to Nigeria without me. I don't. So for me, it was that was the thing. So it wasn't a case of allowing. It was a promise that I kind of had made, not just to him but to myself, that the children will have their dad. And I just said, God, it's in your hands. And I'm grateful that I didn't allow people, because trust me, I'm not even like, you are lying. I saw the children with him and the wife here. I'm like, he's their dad.
Yes.
I have no worries. I said, when they go, I don't even call them, say, are you okay? Because I trust
they're in good hands. Yeah, of
I
course.
said he's their parent, because the same way he won't call me and ask me, are the children okay when they're with me?
Why would you?
So, but it's amazing how many people were trying to kind of make it seem that why would you allow him to see them despite what he did? I'm like, bad husband does not mean bad father.
Hey, that is
very
one
true.
point that people just don't understand.
And I think, so I think it is really, just going back to what you said previously as well about the work that you did on yourself after you got divorced and how the healing, how you had to have that healing as well. And I suppose that, although you had already made that decision, you'd already made that commitment that, no matter what, he was always going to be in their lives. I think that aside, you also did the work on you so that, because you could have said that and still ignored it and done something totally different when the situation happened. And I think a lot of us, I mean, just talking for myself as well, I didn't, so my kid's dad I've seen myself as a single parent, but that doesn't mean that he was not, and that's because the kids have always lived with me. But that doesn't mean that their father has not been involved. Do you see what I mean? So we didn't have the opportunity for them necessarily to go and stay with him, or for him to pick them up every weekend. Although he would always come, like pick like my daughter up from school, and go and pick up my son from school as well and bring them home. So that even though they couldn't go to where he was, he would always always be there. And I think sometimes we, because of the pain that we as parents, or whether as a father or as a mother, or as a husband or as a wife, the pain that we have felt from our spouse, we want to inflict it back on them, and the way we do that is via the children.
Because how else?
Exactly.
He may have moved on.
Exactly. So we now use the children, but we forget that if you think back to when you were a kid, and if you know, how would you have felt? And so it's not, and it's easy to say, you know, it's selfish, but it is. I think it is. But I can understand that people do things from a selfish point of view.
When you're hurt, you're
exactly.
Just hurt, so.
And I think it's so. In my situation, I was very lucky and blessed to have people around me who reminded me of, you know, it's not about you really, or you need to think of the kids, or you need to sort yourself out, and you know. And I made up my mind that I wasn't going to, you know, any sort of resentment or anything. I wasn't going to be, because that'll be more of an impact on me. So I think, I think we hurt people, as they say. But that's why you've got to, this is not a show that is advocating divorce. I know we're going to talk about life after divorce, but there's lots of things you need to think through first. And if you decide that this is the route that you are going down, because this is the only route that is, or this is the best route for you, all other options. Nobody is advocating that I could just go and divorce is brilliant, because it's not. It is a lot of
feminist.
Because it is not. But you've got to also remember that, especially if you have kids, you know, these are just little adults, and you know the impact that you can have on them now, if you don't do the right thing by them, would then affect them as adults and then affect their children. So so I think it's important to,
very important to think, to put your step outside yourself and think about the children, because I feel like adults, we kind of find a way to just keep pushing through, but then we just forget. Same thing for, like, you know, if you weren't even married but you and the dad are no longer together, you just have to think about the child. For the ones that stop contact and all those sorts of silly things for no reason.
Exactly.
You're trying to pepper the man, but it's your children that you're really peppering in the end.
And even when they say it's like a community raises a child, the community is the other parent. The community is the other parent, because no matter how much, and I'm not taking away from single moms and single dads, not at all, but we all bring different perspectives,
of course,
into a child's life to fill them up. And that's why we even have uncles, we have aunties, you know, the good ones that we let into our children's lives, because
they're bringing in something.
They bring something that gives that child a holistic view of the world. And I just think that if you can allow the other parent into your child, you don't have to interact with them like that. Even
exactly.
You don't have to. You know, saying that you have to be like me, that I'm just with my ex. No, but if it's the fun, even if it's just a drop off, just so that they can have that experience of the other parent, so that child doesn't feel like the other parent abandoned them. Because that's what. And also, please, I know we're supposed to be talking about that life, but I know we end up in divorce, but let's try not to badmouth the other parent.
Definitely.
Because you have to remember that they might not be a terrible parent just because they were a terrible spouse. Understand? So, you know, so it's all these things, because some people are going to be saying, but he's not doing it, he's not doing that, she's not doing that. We know. But if they ask to see the child, please allow. You know, if you want to do it, supervise however you want to be in the, however you want to do it, but allow your child to see the other parent, because they're probably missing the other parent. To be honest.
Yeah, of course they would. They love you, but they also love the other parents.
You know, so and also don't. And another thing that I actively do with my children that I will just quickly want to mention: I never stopped them from mentioning their dad in the house, even his wife. I didn't, because I was just like, I don't want this is supposed to be their sanctuary.
They shouldn't be censoring what they say.
They should not feel that they can't say anything at all. So I made sure that it was I told them. If dad calls you, you don't have to run into your room. If you know what, it's not necessary. So, but then when they saw that, okay, that dad calls me too,
then it was
so they even felt more comfortable. So these are just little things that we kind of need to just remember, because our kids are going to marry too.
Of course.
Or okay, they're going to be in a relationship.
Of course.
As a minimum. You don't want them to carry that kind of shit
into their next one,
into
their adult life.
You know, it doesn't have to continue. It doesn't have to be a cycle. So Okay, let's not talk about divorce today. I'm getting a bit.
But,
Life
but
after.
our topic is about divorce.
It's
So.
life after divorce.
Life
though.
after divorce.
Okay, you guys, let's talk about something juicy.
Yes.
Let's enter the juicy. Let's enter the juicy bit. You guys, let's talk about dating. Because Duchess, one of our episodes, somebody did say, can we talk about dating after divorce? Right? So this is the juicy. We've talked about the whole yeah. So how have you guys found it? You know me, I have not been divorced, so I can really hide under this. I've not been married, talk less of divorce. So I can hide under this umbrella. You guys, how did you find initially and now that it's been years? How have you
So I
found
think
it?
for me, after so dating was the last thing on my mind. After
of course.
when it first happened, it was like the last thing. Although I wouldn't say dating, because the thing is, depending on what kind of divorce you had or what sparked it or what led to it. I know, and I've spoken to enough of my friends or people who say that self-esteem was at an all-time low after the divorce, and so any sort of attention they got afterwards, they were like hungry for attention. So they would, the most unlikeliest of copulations were happening afterwards.
Entanglements and things.
Just because.
Do you know, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, just because it was. Oh, so I am still desirable, or I'm still, especially
Someone
if
still even sees me.
someone sees me, and somebody thinks that I'm worth whatever. But I know a lot of people who went down that route, and I suppose for myself to some extent as well, where getting involved in maybe conversations or with people that ordinarily you wouldn't even really wouldn't have, but because you were craving something that you hadn't had for such a long time, that you went down some routes that you wouldn't normally. So I think, for me, so I wouldn't necessarily say dating, but getting attention after a divorce can kind of like spin your head, and it creates this sort of false. I don't even know how to put it.
I think I know what you're saying. Yeah, false.
Yeah, it's like and then you think, oh, I really like this person, but you don't. You're just
enjoying that.
the
Because
attention.
loneliness, and loneliness as well.
Yeah,
can, creep in.
and you're enjoying the attention, and you look back and you think, did I really even entertain that and all of that?
Yeah.
So
why are you laughing? You're laughing like
like you understand. So I don't know whether you'd had anything like or heard about that. Maybe not personally.
But no. It's. I think I always call it entertainment. You just need people for entertainment, and it's not about a physical thing. It's even just for the mental. Of you're just like, I'm talking to you, you're talking to me. I know nothing. But we are just keeping
time is passing, Sha.
Yeah, time is passing. It's in the evening where actually I should have been sitting with my husband really, but there's no husband here.
So I just be just
I told children to go to bed because it's past bedtime. So what am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah. So let's just continue.
Let's just be talking. So anybody will say hi, like hello.
Try.
Oh
my God, it's true, yeah.
Because you're not at that place where you have the capacity to give anything more. Anyway, because you're still trying to sort out your own mess in your own head, your heart, and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like someone says, I'm not doing anything.
Okay, so
what do I lose?
Yeah.
Last, at least it'll be gisting. Last time, should I be gisting?
That's it. And all of us go through that because there's something you had. Because even though the in that space it wasn't great, you know that someone will say to you, "What am I eating?" It's in the microwave, whatever. There's something. But
it's an interaction. The way to interact with.
So you do find yourself in a position where you're entertaining people that you probably would not have spoken to, and it's not because they are wawa like that, but it's just that.
And some of them are washer, but okay.
I'm trying to be nice, because somebody took and said I was wawa. So, but it's that kind of thing that you go through that phase, and it's not even. And I don't even think that even when you start dating, you're actually really dating. It's still that let me just start.
So do you think that you said that you're jaded? when you say when you start dating, you're not dating, why? Why do you think that? You mean that you still haven't, you're still not in that headspace for that?
Because the thing about it is you also have to have the emotion, you have to give somebody your emotions and fully open up yourself. But you can't even open up yourself because you have to remember, you're no longer the same person you were before. One, you're not the person you were when you were dating. Say for instance, if you got married in your 20s, you're not that person anymore. You married, you've had children.
You changed again.
You've changed. Now you are changing again because you're now divorced. So you have to find out, who am I today as a mother, divorcee, older. Do you understand?
Yeah,
so
right.
until you find yourself, anybody you're giving yourself to, you're giving them a memory of who you thought you were before.
Or who you're not even sure that you are. You're just going along.
You know, exactly. So you have to really take time to find yourself. And then if you're fortunate, you might meet someone who wants to go on that journey with you. But I think that's a journey you should do by yourself. Yes, you might have some entertainments, but it's a journey you have to do because you need to know, who am I now today at this person that is, in my case, I was 40 when I separated. At this 40, I'm turning 40 and I don't have a husband. All the plans I had for my 40th birthday,
I haven't got
you know, I had serious
out of the window.
man, you know the plans I had
for your 40th.
Man, I
Are you
had
serious?
plans for my 40th because there's a 9-year gap. So I had already said, okay, we'll do, because he was going to be turning 50 in the May after my 40th in November. So I think how we're going to do one party together and everything.
40 and 50.
I found myself in Vegas by myself.
Aye.
I mean, I had a fabulous time. But you see, so all those plans. So if you think of what, you know, women, we forward plan. So if you have all those plans, have now come to nothing. So you want to go and be dating who?
It's true.
But but it's interesting though. But how do you then take that journey? Because you said it's a journey that you might need to take on your own. You should take on your own, and I think that's the where a lot of people fall down.
That's where people
because
get
it's like how do you do that? Because if it's like, okay, these are the steps. Because I think a lot of us took that journey, but we took the Israelites.
You were just
you went around 40.
You entered.
Yeah, you went. Whereas there's like, it could have been like a 5-year, 5-day.
Step 1, step 2, step 3.
So how does one even start to find out about themselves, would you say?
I don't even know if you wouldn't do an Israelite journey. And the reason why I say so, because it depends on the person. Depends on how enlightened you are. So for someone like me, I would say that maybe I shortened some of my journey because I went to seek help.
Okay.
So they helped me open my eyes to the things that would have gone wrong that I didn't realize was an issue in my marriage. While I was focused on one thing, I say, Uncle was asking for sex all the time. Every time. It's like, bros, what's your problem? I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a worker.
I'm tired.
I'm tired. What's your own? But I'm forgetting that actually from his perspective, he had his own perspective of why he wanted that. So there's some things that open my eye up to. Then also I have to then make the decision that I actually want to go on that journey of healing. Some people don't even care. They're like, Shebi, you do me, I will find the next person and do it today.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
true.
So some people will have to go through that issue. And then also, circumstances also bring up things that you're not even aware that you've not healed from. Do you understand? So I might meet somebody today and we were going honky-dory and he'll just do one thing.
It will just.
It will trigger me to somewhere that I don't even know where I did go. Do you understand? So that's why I don't think that you have tools to help you cope, but you might do an Israelite journey.
You may still get to.
As long as you don't go too far out. But it's a case of, okay, there are tools that will say, okay, if you're triggered, it's not for you to just go mental and go wild. Because that person doesn't know that they're triggering you. You should actually look at this. I'm grateful that you have now made me realize that
this is still something
healed from, that I need to work on myself, which I can either do by myself or I can then go and talk to someone about it to go through that journey and understand, why is this still an issue for me? You understand?
So you would recommend, if people want and people cannot, because there's also the cost implications of things like counseling and those sorts of things. So you would always recommend that as a starting point.
I would. The reason why I say you don't enter a car and start driving without driving lessons. If you're going to go into a relationship with yourself or with somebody else at your new position, you've got to understand how to do it. Because if you don't, then all you're going to do is you meet the love of your life and you fuck it up.
Because
And how does that help? It doesn't help. I mean, there's some things even I am still learning and I'm still educating myself on, and I'm being triggered upon, even though I do what I do. Because it's not because I'm saying, oh, I know it all. Nobody knows it all. And nobody knows what the pain you've gone through, what would remind you of it.
It could be the
I suppose it's because it's a journey you will always take. So there's no such thing as you go on this journey and then you reach your destination and that's it.
And everything is clear.
Yeah, so I think it's something that you're continually learning about.
You now know how to manage it.
To manage it, yeah. And I think it's interesting you said that, because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine recently about something that happened to me, and so without giving too much away, something that happened to me with somebody. So somebody had done something to me, and I was like really getting really worked up about it. And my friend said, "But really, that person's done nothing wrong. You know, Ayo, you need to." He hasn't done anything to you intentionally, right? He has just done something, right? So let's, for the argument's sake, he has now moved a plate from point A to B, and you are now you are freaking out. It's got nothing to do with that. It's not nothing to do with him. You need to now work out why that is such an issue for you, and for me, it was like it was like even like a light bulb moment for me to say, oh, that's true that. If I look back, that moving of that plate from A to B, many people have done that before, and I've always acted that way. But I've just thought it was more to do with them. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
But really, it is really me. So that people are going to be moving that plate from A to B from day, for the next 10 years. So unless I understand how I deal with that or how I'm going to respond to that, I will always find myself in. Yeah. So I think that thing of knowing that it's a continual thing. And just to take a quick step back to this thing about the like divorce and stuff, and how, especially if you feel that you were wronged, right? So for whatever reason you went down the divorce route, if you feel that you were wronged, then you will never look at yourself as needing to change, improve, because you will always be that person. You will always be the victim. So I think I think that's why it's important then, no matter, and you don't even have to be divorced to go through this or to do this, but it's so important to always self-assess and work on yourself.
You have to.
Yeah.
You can't be coasting through life without checking yourself.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Going back to your question about dating. When I decided to start dating.
How many years after the divorce?
Auntie.
Because it helps so that I know where I can try and pitch your...
I probably started dating before my divorce papers came out. But then that's because I said I was separated for 2 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So I definitely, I definitely dated.
Okay. And rightly so, by the way.
Dated. Okay. Before we go, what does dating mean? When you say dated, no, the reason I ask is because, right? When I think of dating, so before I got married, and especially coming from like the Christian point of view, right? So I got born again. I was in my late teens, and at that stage, it was like if you are dating somebody, that's the person you're going to marry, right? So there's no such thing as a bit.
We're just dating. We're just dating around.
You are basically preparing yourself with this guy for marriage. So that was all. So when I even dated my ex-husband, we didn't date. He came to me and said, because we're from the same school of thought, I said, I want us to get married.
And you both walked towards the marriage.
And we worked towards the marriage. I mean, we did some counseling, but it was, we were counseling because
into the marriage.
We were getting married, nothing about her. So when I think of dating, or it was always about, okay, who is the person I'm going to marry? But that's not what you're talking about when you talk about dating. So when you say you started dating before you're married, your papers came through, what does dating mean?
Okay. I was seeing people where there might have been some bodily contact.
I won't use my favorite word because that word, I'll just save that word for this session.
But this is so when I say dating,
your word. I was trying to think. What
So to be fair, I had people that were what I would term entertainment. So people that were talking with. But when I said the dating I was talking about, when I say dating, is actually I was in a relationship. However, I will say that I did have a phase that was not so.
Yes.
I had a time that
Was it colorful?
very colorful. Color me bad. Kind of, you know.
Phase.
So,
Which,
yes.
by the way, you're allowed to.
No, and I'm not. Think about it, that was the phase I went through. But when I talk about this dating, I'm talking about this was someone that was now monogamous, where we agreed exclusively we were dating one-on-one. That's the dating I'm talking about. So we're in a relationship. But I did have a color me bad time when there was not much.
Okay, but even so, so even.
But if I had to answer your question,
Okay,
directly, my definition of dating is when you're talking to someone and getting to know somebody. That's what I call dating. Until they tell you that you are exclusive, we're one-on-one, you are not in a relationship, you are dating.
You're dating.
It does not necessarily mean that you must be having sex with all those people, but you are going out on dates to get to know each other, to make a decision on whether or not you want to be with them exclusively.
Yeah.
That is what I call dating.
So dating is not, I'm dating one person. You can be dating several people at the same time.
At various
if you choose
stages.
To,
of the dating.
until you get to the point to, and I think it's important to, especially at this age, and I say this age because, like I said, how I was brought up and especially like culturally as well, when we say dating,
Is you're in a relationship.
so because there are lots of guys that will take you out for a meal. And say we are dating, which to them means you were exclusive. Do you see what I mean? So unless you say, because do you want to go out for a meal? Yeah, okay, I'll pick you up, let's meet somewhere. And then you go and you meet, and then so that's on Friday, and then they call you on Saturday. Oh, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm just out with my friend. You are out where I meal. But we went out yesterday. And then they'll get offended that, you have gone out. Shabi, I took you out yesterday evening. What kind of woman? Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's like, so do you have those sort of conversations?
Me, I do. I'm
From
up
day
front.
one?
I'm upfront in the fact that I say that until you ask me, we are not boyfriend and girlfriend. That's literally my sentence.
Until you ask me, until I answer.
because
so the answer is the important bit.
I'm upfront. The truth is I'm upfront about. Until you ask me, we are not boyfriend and girlfriend, and please never forget my birthday, or I'll be very upset. Those are the two things I say. Because the thing about it, let there not be any confusion
about.
Because yes, the way we used to do it before is that he toast you, are boyfriend and girlfriend. But sometimes we fall into dating. You are now boyfriend and girlfriend, and I don't even like you.
It's true.
Somehow we are
how are we
together.
boyfriend and girlfriend?
Somehow we are now together.
As an item.
Together, and you're like, and then the worst part of it is that one day now they will come and wake up and say, "Did I ask you out?
Did I?
It's true. Do we have that? Do we have the
When you
talk?
now say where we're going, say going where? Did I say you're my girlfriend? I always think that now, when we were younger, it's different because we were married. Our culture made us marry. We were dating for a purpose.
Yes, yeah.
But now, at this stage of our lives, at the age that we're at, we're doing it for companionship. So let's not have ambiguity. Let's be, preferably, if you can even give me a gift to confirm that we're monogamous. Just something
To seal the deal. Yes.
To just say
so that I know. Every time I look at it, I know.
you will know.
But will you have to give that? So if it doesn't work out, will you give that gift back?
Why?
Okay, so it's a gift. I want it given.
It's just a gift.
Yes,
It's a gift.
yes,
now.
okay.
A gift is a gift.
So the whole. Don't get me wrong. Dating is not an easy something.
So dating after divorce, or dating itself
Dating
as you
is
get
not
older,
easy. It's not easy.
is not
You have to
easy.
find the people first, man.
And I think that's for me has been the challenge. It's like, where are these people? Where are they? Because the thing is, you think that we're in our 50s. Well, some of us are. And most people, unless you're willing or you're open to dating people who are much younger than you, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. Most people that are in your age brackets are married. Okay, so there's some that are also divorced, but then they have that same... It's about finding the people with the same mindset.
Yes.
Because other people are jaded from they're wounded.
Yes.
I think there's so many wounded people. I think maybe even for us women, maybe we even do more to help this healing process. I'm not even sure that men do as much because most of them internalize. The starting point, they
don't
internalize.
talk. Yeah, they don't
Wait,
talk.
by the time you go to your friend's house, people talk,
Yeah.
and share your, you leave feeling a little bit relieved.
Yeah,
I'm not
guys
even
don't talk.
sure
Yeah, you're
how
right.
many, and I wish men would just come on my podcast and talk because a lot of men just don't share anything. And I just wonder how they go through their own, healing process, if they even bother.
If they even,
Or whether they're just sitting in their houses, which is why we can't find them in this
But as I said now,
in the streets of London.
But the thing is that because, as I said, the men are the prize. So you ask a lady out, depending on how she's feeling and how she's feeling with her own self-worth, she will take you as broken as you are, thinking that she's going to heal, help you to heal. And it's not like you can't help another person heal. You can be there while they're being on the job. You're not Jesus Christ. They're not a healer. They have to do that journey by themselves. Because if not, what's going to happen is they're going to deplete you as well. And then by the time they are healed, you are now absolutely wounded.
And then they move on. Then they move on to
like,
someone that is fresh.
And like, sorry, babe, you're not no longer my level. I'm healed. You have a lot of red flags going on.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing. Men have to do their own healing because we divorce people now, so that means there has to be single people
Somewhere.
That's the conversation we're having earlier today. Where are the single? Because the people not everybody that's divorced remarried.
Exactly.
So where are
they?
Where are they?
But it's like you said that so a lot of them are jaded as well. They don't they don't put themselves forward as being in the pool. So they're not looking to date.
The pool is dry, you. The pool has no water.
They're not looking to date. They don't mind having the friends with benefits or their situationships. But that thing of having somebody that they need to be or want to be committed to, like see what happens. See I gave somebody my heart and everything and see how I'd rather not go through that again. I'm just
I wonder if men don't bounce back as much as we do. Because if you think about it, as women, we get a lot of love from our kids. We get a lot of love from our
We
friends.
just switch to our kids.
Even if we make a new friendship, we can get love from them. It's like, but men, they don't do. They have. I mean, and men, I'm not speaking for you, but it comes across as you have very superficial relationships. So you put connect over football, basketball,
But nothing
have those
deep things. Why women can meet today and have the deepest conversation
and share the inner.
We're not even going to see him tomorrow.
Yes.
And if you say, when you see them tomorrow, be like,
Yeah.
So you get that we get that release a lot, and then the unconditional love that we get from our children as well, because most times they're with us, also helps us as well.
And they see you vulnerable. They know, and you're not afraid to be vulnerable.
So, and I think men don't really get the opportunity to do that. So they're kind of they take themselves out of it because they're just hurt.
Yeah.
And we don't really acknowledge that they are hurt because they've hurt us. We just think that they're okay, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're okay.
But also African men, and let me narrow it down to Nigerian men, a lot of them do a good job at masking whatever they're going through. So you don't even see them as vulnerable. You just think, oh, this one's wife left him, or this one left his wife. And you just think he's fine. Because when you see him, he looks fine.
Yeah.
But us, when we're sad, it's very easy. Even if you wear pancake and do Mac Ruby Woo lipstick.
As somebody says, that's where you see the one. She will cut her hair. She said,
cut it. Colloids. Yeah, the color is what I don't understand. No, but that wasn't because you were. That wasn't because you were.
No, it wasn't because I was sad. It was just kind of like, okay, right, this person. But it's that kind of thing. But you know that for you to come and say, I don't need a man.
Auntie, be real.
Auntie,
be real. Let's know how to help you.
Yeah.
And it's interesting about this whole thing about, life after divorce, because even though I've been holding on to, I started writing a book on the play. I think I called it the Finding Love After Divorce.
Really?
The playbook.
Oh, wow. Look how we thought about the same topic.
I know. So it was quite interesting. I was like, because it's a journey. This whole thing, even just the conversations we were having earlier today, it's kind of like, wow, there is so much that goes into finding love after divorce, finding yourself. I remember Sister Jenny put a post about whether or not you should get permission from your children to marry.
Yes, I saw that post.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But so you realize that even in your freedom, there is still some limitations, some barriers that you still have to overcome just to live another part of your life as thriving. Because yes, we're thriving, we're having fun, but at the same time, we still want the companionship because we're designed to have companionship.
Of course.
Whether it's platonic, business, or romantic. But it is difficult. And when I see people, God bless social media, people who are doing it again, I love it. Because I'm just like, wow, that's amazing that in spite of everything that happened, you still manage to find another person that you love and they love you as well. Because it's beautiful to see because we can find another job.
Of course.
That COVID word, pivot.
Yeah.
You can pivot anytime to another career. We can do that. But relationship is difficult. So that's why it's not. So when people are saying she left because she wanted to go to another sponsor, where is the somebody? No, she didn't. Because if it was that easy, auntie.
Yeah.
Would that be a different story now? So I'll be here to say I'm with my darling at the moment.
Yeah. You wouldn't even answer.
And I think, so I agree that, I mean, I have only recently started thinking about the dating thing and looking at dating apps and stuff in any sort of real seriousness. And the thing just it just wears me out. But honestly, it does. It's like swipe this one.
What, the dating app?
Do you want? Say something here. Which picture are you going to put up? All that kind of stuff. And I'm like,
I've never even looked on a date. I don't even know what they look like.
There's a science to it.
Apparently, so
Really?
I was listening to a podcast. I think it was the guy who on this is it Steve Bartlett? The Diary of a CEO, and he actually had the guy. Who created Hinge on his podcast, and he was talking about like the science behind it and what sort of things you need to put up, and I'm like, I just wanted to go and put picture and find.
It's hard work.
But I think I got a bit I'm just like it's a bit too much. But what I do love is talking about life after divorce is. Especially, so life after divorce, children are grown or growing and they don't need you as much physically or day to day. And so you have a lot more time on your hands. I love the fact that people, I hear lots of stories about people who are not necessarily looking for a relationship, but it finds them, right? Yeah. So they're just going about doing their stuff and they just happen to meet somebody and they hit it off and they find a companion. And so for me now, my life it'd be great to have a companion, somebody that you can be totally yourself with and is on the same level as you. But I'm just so focused now on just enjoying life, because the thing is, it's similar to what we're saying about when we were growing up about, it's all about you are dating. Who are you going to marry? Who are you going to marry? So the focus is marriage. You see what I mean? But now that's not what life is all about, because you find the person and then you end up divorced. So for me now, I'm in my 50s. I don't have the responsibilities as much as I did before. So me, I just want to live, which means doing the stuff that I want to do, which means travel more. Sleep until 2 p.m. in the afternoon on a Saturday if I want to. Get up and go out and do stuff, but just being intentional about enjoying life.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think in doing that, then you're more likely to find, I'm even talking about romantic connections, but even just...
You're more like to attract
the kind of
energy and people that you need.
Yeah. That might then take you somewhere else step. And then you might then meet somebody. So I think I'm grateful for the fact that I'm not I've lived this divorced life for quite a while. I am in no shape or form a bitter, twisted old woman who is sitting and just waiting for the downfall.
I'm praying for other people to divorce and join you.
Exactly. I'm so, because I've seen it in other people where what is driving them is actually aging them, because they are so, bitter,
Yeah.
twisted,
Yeah.
wanting to seek revenge and all that kind of stuff. So I'm so grateful that I'm not in that position, and I'm grateful that I have my health and the well-being and the
And the children.
and the small finances to be able to do stuff that I. Do you see what I mean? So I think for me there is for the life after divorce can be a fulfilling one. And I think Duchess made a point earlier on saying about, the fact that you failed, your marriage failed does not make you a failure. And I think society or maybe culture makes you think, wait, are you that you couldn't keep your home?
You don't keep a man.
Yeah, makes you feel as if, but no. And like I said before, nobody is here advocating for you to go and get divorced. But if you find yourself in that position, you need to do the work on yourself in order to make sure that you are, you've healed from that, because it is, someone said described divorce as scratching paint off a car. That if you scratch it, the car will never be the same, but you can repatch it, but it will never, there's something that happens to the, if you scrape it off. And so if you do find yourself, so do the work that needs to be done in order to make sure that you are back to being whole, and then enjoy life.
Just live life. I think that's how we even round it up. The summary is just, after divorce, just do your best to get back to the best that you can be and just live life.
Absolutely.
Live life.
And whatever knows I enjoy my life.
Yes.
I don't apologize for it. With my small couple, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm spending £1. I enjoy that £1 very well, because you're right about you will attract the people, they will come. But you need to be in that space to be able to receive. And that's what people forget, is that we if we're not open to receive, it cannot come.
Yeah.
And
It will
it's not
fly around and
Exactly.
fly
It
away.
doesn't matter what you believe in, what you're religious, that's just the way it is. You have to be open to receive, and you cannot receive if you're bitter, if you're holding on to the past of what somebody did to you. You have to move forward, and living your life to the fullest shows your children as well, who are looking at you, that you are able to give them as much love as they need. You're able to love yourself, be who you are, and enjoy the place that you are at today, because that's what you need to do. It's not about the past and living there and wallowing in, because it's not, you can't do anything about the past. You've got to appreciate the present so that your future might be bright. That's the truth. So whether you're going through a divorce at the moment, whether you're thinking about going through a divorce, or whether you're happily married or you have never even married, ultimately, as he said, live your life.
Live
to
life.
the fullest.
Yeah.
Wherever you find yourself.
Yeah,
Nobody
right.
knows tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to round it up. Ayo, do you have any? Are you talked out?
I am.
With drinking water?
Are
Are you going to have some more water?
I
You want to
probably
have
will,
some more
just to make
water?
sure that I keep hydrated.
Very important. Very important.
Hey,
Yeah.
Duchess Iphie and Ayo, thank you so much. I've enjoyed this one. We've talked, but it's been just been gisting. We don't have any beginning. There's no end. This whole relationship, life, marriage, children, everything. We can never exhaust
At all.
that topic.
And just the only thing I would say is that it's good that we are able to have these sort of conversations, because you can feel really isolated no matter where you are, like married, single, whatever. So to be able to find people that you can be vulnerable with, you can have these conversations with, I think it is really important, especially for us women over a certain age.
True.
Because we put on a lot of the time we put on the face,
Yes.
for our kids and everything else. Everything is fine. A strong black woman and everything, but there's no such thing really.
I'm not strong,
So having these conversations, I think, is really important.
It's really important, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wish guys would also do that.
Yes,
Our men. There should be
yes.
More platforms for them
Yes, yeah.
to do that. Okay, lovely ladies. I am going to wrap up now. I will stay hydrated. So, by the way, we're in Ayo's house and we've had such a good time.
Yeah.
We will eat some more and hydrate
And
some
hydrate
more
some
before we disperse to our homes. Yeah. So, thank you everybody for listening. Please like, comment. Yes, let us know what you think about this This
Yeah, we'll read
Yeah.
your
Interesting.
comments.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's have your comments, men, women. Let's hear what you guys think. Yeah. So until next time, I'm sending you love, peace, and happiness. Take care.